Hey guys, welcome to another video. So I was actually thinking the other day about salaries. Now that I'm actually no longer working as an animation director, and I've been thinking about my journey to get here, and how much I had to negotiate my salaries in different companies and how it went. And I thought this will probably be really good content for me to share with my audience, because if I actually struggle to actually get here to a point that I can negotiate my salaries well with no fear, and I feel like, I'm worth something, I have to pay for something, and if you're gonna work together, it needs to be fair for both sides. If I manage to get here, I'm pretty sure you guys want to get here if you're not here just yet. So here's how I go about negotiating salaries. I hope this helps you guys through your journey. So let's get started with another episode. Alright, so for those that don't know me, my name is Harvey Newman. I've been a game developer for over 18 years now, which sounds crazy when you say it out loud. But I love games, I love game development, and recently I just quit a job as an animation director to focus on this, sharing my knowledge here on YouTube with all of you. Now, through my journey here in game development, I started as QA way back in the day. And normally you start with this feeling and this intention that you would do anything to work in games because you're so passionate about it. So this salary negotiation doesn't apply so much to people just getting started in this industry, because you should actually be more like focused on just getting any experience whatsoever than actually getting the most money possible, right? Because in the beginning you should feel, if you're anything like me, that you do this for free if necessary because you love this so much. So you shouldn't do it for free, obviously, but as long as it pays the bills and you actually have enough, then don't try to actually ask for the world, because it kind of sets a bad precedent for you. But I do think that salary negotiation really comes into play whenever you get to mid-level, to a senior, to a lead, to a director. That is when you really have to think about numbers and how much you're getting paid. Now, for those that are actually outside trying to come in, like let's say you are a senior or mid-level or whatever, and you apply for another company and you're on contract negotiations about to get started. So this is how I go about negotiating my contract. Obviously, very first thing, you need to actually make a really good impression on your interview, right? You need to make sure that you actually are the person for the job, you feel like you're the person for the job, and remember that it goes both ways, right? The company needs to like you, for sure, but you also need to like the company. So it goes both ways and you need to meet in the middle. So don't say yes to a company that you're not really feeling, because when you actually are negotiating your contract, this will reflect on how long you want to stay in the company, right? So make sure they're both happy, because then what would happen is that if the company is happy, you are the chosen one, congratulations, you're going to be the guy or the girl for the job. They will most likely, before they send you the contract, ask you, so how much are you earning right now and how much are you looking to get paid? Now, how much you're earning right now is a major key, because here's the thing. If you are a mid-level animator and you're trying to make the step up to a senior, and this company is offering you, cool, giving you experience, we are ready to offer you a senior position, then make sure that the salary that you say you're earning is the salary that you would like to have as a senior animator, right? Because at that point the company can go, this is the bare minimum and how much more does you want? And then go, this is how much I'm earning right now, whatever number that is, and then go, I want this much, and this much should be the number a little above of what you see as a medium. So what I mean by this is that you should actually do your research, talk with your mates. If you have anybody that is in a senior position or mid-level or whatever you want to go to the other company, talk to them. Hopefully they can share how much they're earning, and then you get like a little idea of how much you should be, especially if you're getting underpaid right now, right? So if your mate is earning a certain amount and is more than you are earning, then say, I would like to actually get this or a little bit more, right? And then hopefully you and the company will get to actually a middle ground between those two numbers, right? The number that you're earning right now and the number that you ideally would like for you to make the move from the place that you are right now to the place that you're going. And that is how you actually get to a good position and a good salary. Now I have to actually do a little addendum to this, because I'm a big believer that if you are a creative person, you should not think about money when you're working. So I think that if you are a creative person and your studio hired you, right, you should sit down on your chair and just create and just make things better for the company, create cooler things for the company. That should be your job. But if you find yourself sitting in your seat and thinking about money all the time, about I'm doing all this hard work, but I'm getting heavily underpaid for it, it means that there's something wrong and there's something that you need to fix there. So this is basically what I wanted to say before I jump into what it is like to actually kind of like try to negotiate a contract when you are inside the company. Now, before I go ahead, I have to say that in this industry, there's still some remnants and things are getting better, that the grass is always greener, meaning that hiring somebody from another studio, especially if it's a AAA studio that is really fancy, always feels better to the studio than actually upgrading the salary and kind of like giving a bonus to somebody inside the studio already. There's a tendency of thinking that if the person is been there for 2, 3 years, 4 years, they're gonna be there forever. And there's complacency and there's like this feeling that they'll take you for granted. That is a really bad feeling, and I've had that done to me, and it feels incredibly horrible, and you should not feel that way ever. You should feel, compensated. You should feel like you are special to the company, and the company should kind of like look at you first before they go outside and just chase the world for the best talent, because at the end of the day, if they have someone good inside, they should actually give the money to the person that actually been loyal to them all this time, right? So because of this, if you find yourself in a position that you need to actually get more money, then for sure do the same thing that I mentioned before, which is research the market, talk to your mates, talk to people that actually have the same position as you, and hopefully they can share how much salary they're earning, and you can have like a medium once again of like how much you should be actually getting paid. Based on this, definitely there's going to be like lots of red alerts if you are heavily underpaid based on everyone you talk to and all the research that you do online. So you definitely should flag it up to management. Now here comes the crucial bit. Because of this grass is always greener situation, the company is already in a stance, because companies look out for themselves, the company is already in a stance that they might actually have a cap to your mid-level animator or mid-level artist, whatever it is, right? They say, we offer everybody this amount of money, 50 grand, and then basically you actually have to be at this level as a senior, or like less if it's a mid-level, and if you don't like it, then too bad, it's your fault, right? Now the company is kind of ready at that point that you're gonna say no and maybe leave, because if you're already complaining or telling them that you're not happy with the salary, there's something that is being broke there, and the company should try to be able to fix it. But if they talk to you that way, it's because they're not willing to go the extra mile to fix it. So in that case, you need to change your mentality as well, because based on my experience is that the company normally has a hard stance on these things, but then the employers, myself, we kind of like, we get used to our lifestyle in the city. We have a car, maybe we have a family, get cushy lifestyle, whatever it is, nice apartment, and you don't feel like moving because perhaps you moved a lot, like in my case, or perhaps you just find it really comfy to work in this company. But it doesn't change the fact that you're getting underpaid, right? So if you're gonna go to the company with this stance of like, I need a higher salary, you need to be in the same kind of like level as them, right? You kind of have to be in that level of like, you need to either pay me more because I feel like I deserve more and it's only fair, or I'm gonna have to find something else, right? And at that point, you guys gonna be able to negotiate, right? Because they will feel this energy from you and they'll be like, okay, so this guy's been here for 4 years, he's been contributing so much and helped us ship a bunch of projects, we need to keep him, right? So they might be able to actually go the extra mile. If they don't, if they start feeling like it's a nice to have but it's not a must, that's when things falter. That's when you actually end up with the same salary for another 2 or 3 years until you eventually quit. Believe me, when you hold on for that long just because you like the place and you like your friends and you like where you live, but you cannot pay the bills because the money is not enough, it feels horrible. I've been there more than once, unfortunately, and it's not nice. So this is the 2 ways that I would actually negotiate my salary, and this is how my experience has been to actually get here to this point. Now, when it comes to being a lead, when it comes to being an animation director, things change quite a bit because you become almost like a person, a very specific role that basically is very crucial for game development, right? They're not looking for many leads or many directors. They're looking for one animation director and one art director. For leads, they may be looking for 2 or 3 leads max, right? Maybe one just. So this becomes a little bit more unique, right? Which means that the salary can change much more than being mid-level, right? Or maybe being senior. Normally for like a junior, a mid-level or senior, there's brackets that companies do, but some companies are willing to actually go above or below the bracket. Some companies are like hard on this bracket, right? But for leads and directors, then there's no bracket because they kind of like have to make sure that they fill those positions in order for the game to be shipped. So it's a bit unfair, but it's just to actually add that when you get to be a lead or a director, you have much more room to maneuver when it comes to asking for money, right? Especially if you're that like person that they're really looking for and they don't have just yet, or that person that has lots of experience and they don't have just yet, and you are bringing like years of experience into a studio that perhaps doesn't have it yet. That is invaluable to them, and therefore you need to actually keep that in mind. However, that thing that I said in the beginning about being a junior or perhaps not having any experience in trying to come in, and the most important thing should be all about the passion and wanting to work in the games industry. That applies even later on when you are a lead or a director, because being too greedy with money ends up putting you in places that you dislike a lot. It ends up you being in places that want to keep you for a long period of time because they want to pay you really well, but you are not happy. So you actually get to it's really weird because I actually got to this conclusion like years ago. As you get to be a lead and get more responsibility, it's like a nice balance. You need to get a nice balance to make sure that you get the right money, right, and working in a place that you are happy. If you get to that point, right, you really kind of like hit it right on the nail. So if you get to that middle ground of like getting just enough money that you're actually kind of like really happy and you can live comfortably and you can actually support your family and all that stuff, buy a house, but you are happy in the place that you work, that is where you want to be at. Companies paying you a whole bunch of money to just be miserable, not cool. Companies not paying you enough money but having a cool environment, also not cool. You want to be like in that in between. And that's all I had for you guys. I hope this was useful to you all. Once again, if this was useful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell button. Drop a comment down below. Let me know about your experiences, because I'm always curious to know if you can share. How was your experience? Do share, because I do know there's a lot of people out there that haven't made it into the industry yet, and I'm pretty sure they want to hear your experiences so they know if this is the correct industry for them, right? So drop a comment down below, and can I go away without mentioning Patreon? Thanks a lot for all my supporters. You can see their names here, and if you actually would consider joining me on Patreon and supporting me further, will be highly appreciated, because all the money goes through this channel, and I would highly appreciate it. More videos there, more behind the scenes, more stuff overall. That's all I had for you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and until then, stay well, stay safe. Peace.